Hello, it's Orit here. Welcome to another video on the Estetino Artist channel, where we share all kinds of tips related to helping you grow your creative business online. So in today's video, we're gonna look at the cost of selling on Etsy. I feel like I've kind of been chosen to do this video every single year because I have released a 2020 version. I released before that 2019 version, and every single year you guys are loving it. You're letting me know in the comments that it's really been helpful. So I decided to do an updated version here for 2021. So in this video, we're gonna look at how you get paid on Etsy, the different ways to get paid. We're going to look at all of the fees. We're going to look at what those fees are when you are starting your Etsy shop and what to be aware of. And we're going to look at an example together so that you can see how these fees apply when they're in action when you sell a product in your store. Okay, so let's dive in. First thing I want you to know about is how you get paid on Etsy, because this is going to play into the fees that you'll be charged. So there's two ways to get paid on Etsy, two ways to receive payments from your stores when a buyer purchases a product. The first way is through Etsy Payments. Now, Etsy Payments is kind of their own internal payment processing system where buyers have a whole bunch of options in terms of paying you for your product in your store, and it's all processed within Etsy. So it's the primary way to get paid on Etsy, and it kind of puts all of these different payment methods, like you see, they can pay with credit card, debit, PayPal, Apple Pay, all of these things over here just through the Etsy payment system. So when you're enrolled in Etsy Payments, your buyers can choose to give you money through any of these methods. Now, the second way to get paid on Etsy is through PayPal. So you're either going to receive the money from Etsy Payments processing system or from PayPal. When do you use Etsy Payments? When do you use PayPal? You are actually required by Etsy to use their payment processing system if you fall in any of the eligible countries. So if you are in any one of these countries listed over here, then you're required to use Etsy Payments. So you can't, I'm in Canada, so I have to use their Etsy payment system. And there are fees associated with that, which we'll get into in a second. And a question that I got on one of the previous versions of this video is, if I'm on this list, can I use the PayPal processing system? Can I just, receive payments directly from PayPal from my buyers? And the answer is no, you can't. So you have to use Etsy Payments. You can't only integrate PayPal as your main method for receiving payments. The thing is, PayPal is a part of Etsy Payments. So your customers can choose to pay for your items. If they have a PayPal account and they want to pay with PayPal, they can do that, even though you're enrolled in Etsy Payments, and you'll still receive the money that way. Another question I had was, if I'm using Etsy Payments, do I still get charged the PayPal processing fees if the buyer pays with PayPal? And the answer is no. So Etsy Payment takes care of all of that. You don't have to pay any extra PayPal fees associated with that transaction, but you will be paying Etsy Payment fees. And again, we'll talk about that in a second. So like I said, I'm in Canada. I have to use Etsy Payments. The US, which I know most of you are watching from, is also over here. If you are not on this list, then that means you will be using PayPal. So you'll be integrating your PayPal account into your Etsy shop, and that is how buyers will be able to give you money. Now, there's another thing to keep in mind with Etsy Payments, and by the way, guys, every article that you see here, I'm going to link to all of these below in the description, so you can always refer back to them, because there's always these if, ands, or buts. Etsy loves doing those. So let's say you are eligible for Etsy Payments. You just want to still come down here to this article, because there are certain countries where there's you just need to be aware of this information. Like, for example, if you're located in Israel, PayPal isn't currently available to Etsy sellers in Israel. So just be aware that your buyers, Israel, by the way, is on this eligibility list. So you will still be able to use Etsy payments, but you just won't have that option. Your buyers won't have that option to use PayPal to give you money. So there's just these little things that you can come in here and read, but those are the major things that you need to be aware of. Okay, so we talked about the different ways that you can get paid, either through Etsy payments, and if you're on this list of countries, you have to use the Etsy payments processing system, or through PayPal if you're not on this list. What are all the fees associated with selling on Etsy? So let's take a look at that. And we'll also take a look at the Etsy payments fees and how that all works. I think the best way to explain this, and I did this in my other videos as well, you guys really appreciated the visualness of my explanation, so we're gonna still be doing that today. And I mean, I'm a very visual person, so I find it easier to actually see the information on screen. So let's first list off all of the fees and I'll explain what they are, and then we'll go into an example together. So the first fee that you need to be aware of is the listing fee. All right, so the listing fee is 20 cents. And this listing fee is basically whenever you create a listing in your Etsy store, you will be charged a 20-cent fee. So in order to have your product listed up on Etsy, you'll be charged 20 cents to have that product up on your store. Now, unfortunately, it's not 20 cents for the lifetime of that listing being up in your store. You're actually paying 20 cents to have your listing up on your store for 4 months. So this is only for 4 months, and once those 4 months are over, your listing will be taken down and you'll have to pay the 20 cents again to have that item relisted. There's two options you could do. You could do like an auto renew, so that you don't have to keep coming back and put your listings back up live. So there's an option to do that, in which case every 4 months that listing will automatically renew to stay up on your store and you'll be charged 20 cents. But there's also a manual option, so if you want to be aware of the listings that have expired, and then you can come and review them and see whether or not you want to list them up on your store again, then you can do that as well. You can set it to manual, and then after 4 months, that listing will be taken down from your store, and then you can review them and decide whether or not you want to pay 20 cents again to have that relisted. So that's the listing fee. The second fee is the transaction fee. All right, so your transaction fee is going to be 5% off of the retail cost of the item as well, or the retail price of the item, as well as the shipping cost. It's basically 5% off of the retail price as well as the shipping price that the buyer paid. So I'm just going to put that here so that we're aware of it. It's not just off of the retail price. So retail price plus shipping price. Whatever they paid, it's going to be 5% off of that. And again, we're going to go through an example. I'm going to show you with actual numbers what this looks like so that you can better understand it. The next fee you need to be aware of is called the auto renew sold fee. Now, it's a weird name. And that as well is 20 cents. So what the auto renew fee is it's kind of similar to the listing fee in that if you have an item that you listed with multiple quantities, so let's say you're selling a t-shirt, you listed that up in your store, you have 20 of those in terms of quantity, so you put quantity 20. When someone buys that t-shirt, let's say they buy one t-shirt from you, you'll still have 19 left up in the store. So in order for that listing to stay live, once they've purchased, then you will be charged a 20-cent fee. It's kind of like a version of the listing fee. In order for that listing to stay live, because you have extra quantities still available and you want that listing to remain live in your store, you're going to be charged 20 cents when that customer buys. If you only had one quantity of that item, so you only had one shirt, you had one quantity, and the customer bought that shirt from you, so your quantity goes down to 0, you won't be charged the 20% auto renew fee because there's nothing to renew. There's nothing for that listing to stay live. You've already used all of that quantity. So then that listing will be taken down, and then you can decide whether or not you want to adjust the quantity or switch it out for to pay a new 20 cents for a new listing. So that's the auto renew sold fee. And I know it's like, how do they think of these fees? I don't know. But that's auto renew. So the next one is multi-quantity fee. But wait, there's more. There's lots more, unfortunately. And you're probably I know some of you are going to be watching this video and you're like, this is too much. I'm out of here. I'm not starting an Etsy store. And yeah, fair enough. Makes sense. But for those of you who want to stick around, so the next fee that I want to share with you is a multi-quantity fee. So this fee is removed when a buyer buys more than one of your item. So let's say you have an item, you've listed it, and your buyer bought 3 of those. So for every additional item that they've added, for every additional quantity above 1 that they've added, you will be charged a 20-cent fee once again. So the multi-quantity fee applies for each additional item sold from that same listing. So if your buyer bought 3, let's say going back to that example, you're gonna be charged 40 cents because it's 20 cents for item number 2 from that same listing, and then 20 cents for item number 3 from that same listing. If they bought 4 quantity of that same item, then each additional quantity, there's 2, 3, 4, so there's 3 more, so 3 times 20 cents is 60 cents. You'll be charged 60 cents because they purchased 4 quantities of that same listing. So I hope that's making sense. So that's the multi-quantity fee. The next one that I want to share with you is Etsy payments fee. So this is the fee associated with you using the Etsy payments processing system. So again, if you're in one of those eligible countries, you're required to use Etsy payments, and the fee is it's going to vary just to make things a little bit more complicated, which Etsy loves to do. It's going to vary depending on where you're from. So how do you know what that fee is depending on what country you're in? I'm going to put, again, this article here is going to let you know. I'm going to put it in the description so you can always refer back to it. The fees are all listed out here. So if you're in the States, let's just scroll down here. The Etsy payments fee for you will be 3%, and that's off of the total order amount. So that's going to be the price that your buyer paid plus the shipping. That 3% is going to come off of that. So for you, it's going to be 3% off of that amount plus 25 cents. Because I'm in Canada, it's a little bit more complicated. For me, I have 2 different things here. If my buyer is in Canada or from the US, then my Etsy payments fee is 3%. Plus 25 cents Canadian. But if if I have a customer in the UK or Johannesburg, South Africa, let's say, then my Etsy payments fees is going to be 4% off of that amount plus 25 cents Canadian. So you want to come here, you want to take a look at what your Etsy payments fee is. I'm going to just use the US. Like I said, I'm in Canada, but I'm just going to use US just because we're going to go through an example together, and all of these fees are in US dollars. So just be aware of that. All of these fees are in US. So, if you're in Canada, it'll actually be more than 20 cents because it'll be converted to Canadian. So I just want to keep everything consistent here and just easier to follow. So I'm just going to do this. so that they're in the US, and I know most of you are watching from the States. So, okay, so that's the Etsy payments fee. Now, these are the main fees, the primary fees that you will see in your store in the back end when you check your dashboard. There are other fees as well, though. So keep in mind, some of the other fees are, you might have currency conversion, you might have like VAT, taxes, there's shipping labels, there's Etsy ads, there's Etsy off-site ads. I know some of you are going to get scared away by all of these. And then of course there's the actual cost of you making the item, etc. So you want to take all of these things into account. I don't want you to be left in the dark. I want you to be profitable, and I want you to go into starting an Etsy store knowing all of this information so that you will be profitable. So these other fees that you see here, I'll just quickly go through them. Currency conversion fee. If your store is in a different currency than the currency of your bank account, then you're going to be charged a currency conversion fee by Etsy to convert that amount that came into your store into your bank account currency. So that fee is 2.5%. And so, for example, I'm in Canada, and initially when we first started on Etsy, because most of our customers are in US, we had our store in US. That was our shop currency. But our bank account is in Canadian dollars. And so we were being charged 2.5% on all of that money that was coming in just for the currency conversion. So we actually changed it back to, we changed our shop currency back to Canadian so that we can avoid that currency conversion. So that's something to be aware of. And I actually did a whole video on that as well, on why we changed our shop currency, and I'll link to that video in the description so you can check it out if you're interested. Now, VAT taxes, we're not going to go too much into that because it varies, obviously, by country, by state, by province. And to be honest, I don't know too much about VAT. That's to do with the UK and everything. So just do your due diligence, be aware of the taxes, and also or VAT if that applies to you. Shipping labels, completely optional. If you want to opt in to Etsy's shipping labels program, which is just basically, instead of going to the post office to have them create that postage and that shipping label for you, you can have it all done on Etsy. So Etsy will take care of the postage for you. They'll give you this thing to print out, and you just stick that label on your package before you send that out to your buyer. So it's ready to go. The postage is paid. They have a bunch of carriers that they work with. So again, if you are using Etsy shipping labels, then there's a fee associated with that, and that will vary. But you can also just, sell your product, and then you just package it up and then go to the post office, and they will take care of those postage fees. All right, next, Etsy ads. Again, this is going to be only associated with you, or only applicable to you if you are using Etsy ads. So you can promote your listings within Etsy so that they show up at the top of the search and in other places on the Etsy website so that you can get more exposure. So beware of that if you're paying for Etsy ads. And then also there's Etsy offsite ads. So far all of these things, well, besides taxes, are kind of optional, but Etsy offsite ads, if you are making more than $10,000 within the last year, so if your shop has made more than $10,000 within the past 365 days, you are required to be entered into this Etsy offsite ads program. And what that basically is that Etsy puts up all of the costs to promote or to advertise your listings on Google, Bing, Pinterest, Facebook, Instagram. They're promoting your listings. So if a sale happens through one of their offsite ads, if you make a sale through their offsite ads, then you're charged a fee associated with that. And the fee is either like 12 or 15% depending on how much you've made. So I'm just going to put 12/15%. If you've made less than $10,000, and I think this is where most of you will be, you've made less than $10,000 in the past 365 days, then entering into Etsy offsite ads is completely optional. You can decide whether you want to enter into that. If you do make a sale through Etsy offsite ads, then it'll be 15% as a fee. But just note that this isn't taken off of every single item that sells in your store. It's only applied to the orders or the sales made from that offsite ads. And again, if you've made more than $10,000 in the past 365 days, then you are required to use this, and any sales made from that is going to be 12%. That's your fee. So those are the most of the fees to be aware of, guys. There is as well, if you're in if you have the Etsy Plus subscription, so be aware of that. If you've entered in a subscription with Etsy, you'll be paying monthly for that. Those are the main things that I wanted to go over with you. So let's go through an example together to see these fees in action. So again, I'm just going to be looking at these fees here. And so our store sells t-shirts. I create the different designs in Photoshop, and then we upload those designs, and then they get printed on t-shirts and other merchandise. Let's just assume that the product we have here in question is a t-shirt. All right. So in order to list this t-shirt, I'm going to be paying a listing fee in order to have this listed up on the site, on Etsy. So I'm going to just put here 20 cents for that listing fee. Now, when someone buys my t-shirt, so someone has come to my Etsy store, they've discovered my listing, they purchase a t-shirt from my store, I'm going to be charged 5%. So let's just say, let's go back to black here. Let's say that this t-shirt I'm selling in my store for $24, and then my shipping is $5. Just for the sake of simplicity, guys, there's going to be a $5 flat rate shipping fee, which we're just going to assume that all of that $5 goes straight into shipping costs. So the buyer has actually paid $29. And again, for the sake of simplicity, I'm not going to go into taxes or anything like that. Let's just assume that they paid $29, and in a perfect world, that would be tax-free. So, okay, so I paid 20 cents to list it up. My transaction fee now will be 5% off of this $29. So let's grab a different color here. Orange for transaction fee. So we're going to do 5% of $29 is, screw the dollar sign, just go $1.45. So that's my transaction fee that I'm being charged. Now, if you remember, the auto renew sold fee applies to if I have extra quantities still available after that item was sold, then I'll be charged 20 cents again to have that item remain listed in my store. So because, you know, our designs are all print on demand, meaning if the buyer makes a purchase, the product or the t-shirt is only printed once they make a purchase, and that gets sent directly to the customer. So when we list our listings, we actually put like 900 for quantity because it's unlimited. We don't hold any physical inventory here. So because I have extra amount available after that item has sold, then I will also be charged that auto renew sold fee. And that will be, 20 cents. Okay, multi-quantity fee. So let's say our buyer has only purchased they've only purchased one t-shirt, so I'm not going to get charged the multi-quantity fee. But if they did purchase two, then I will be charged an extra 20 cents. If they purchased 3 of the same t-shirt, then I'll be charged an extra 40 cents, and so on. So just keep that in mind. All right, Etsy payments fee. Let's use blue for this one. So because I'm in Canada, you're in the States, we have to use Etsy payments, and that fee that we're going to use in this example is this 3% plus 25 cents. So that 3% is going to be taken off of this amount, $29. And let's calculate that. So that's 29 times 3% is 87 cents. Let's do 87 cents. And then plus the 25 cents right here. Okay. All right. Whoa, that's a disgusting 5, but let's go with it. All right. So these are all the fees that we have talked about up here. Just again, for simplicity, I'm not looking at taxes. I'm not looking at currency conversions. I'm not using shipping labels or doing any ads. So let's add up all of these fees that we have here and let's see what we got in terms of fees, what the total is. So that's 20 cents plus 145 plus again 20 cents plus 87 plus 25. Our total amount in fees that we're paying is let's make that look better, $2.97. All right, so that's how much I'm paying in fees after this buyer has purchased one shirt from my store. So if I minus this amount here from the retail price, I'm not going to minus it from $29 because again, we're assuming that this $5 shipping fee is just the $5 is all going to shipping cost. I'm not seeing that amount. So let's just say 24 minus $2.97. So what's left over is $21.03. All right. So it's important to keep in mind that this necessarily isn't my profit because yes, we've removed all of these fees by Etsy, but I still have to remember the cost associated with that product. I have costs of my own, labor costs to design the design, also to purchase this shirt, which itself might be like $7, for example. So 21 minus 7. You get the idea. So just be aware of these other costs that are associated. Again, I'm filming this video because I want you guys to be profitable and to make the right decision to know whether or not selling on Etsy is right for you. So I hope this has been helpful for you guys in understanding the cost of selling on Etsy. Please let me know what you think. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. Leave me a comment down below and subscribe to the channel as well. I'm going to link to other related videos in the description below, like how to calculate shipping in order for you to be profitable. I have separate videos on that, on the currency conversion. So I'll put those related videos in the description along with the articles that we talked about, so you could always go back to them. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.